Is fashion really an unspoken language? Let's start with a couple of images and the first thought that comes to the forefront of your mind. What's the first thing you think of when you see a pair of black gloves? Is it O.J. Simpson? Now, when you combine a turtleneck and beret, do you revise your thinking? With all the elements in mind, I'm hoping to bring forth thoughts of the Black Panther Party. Fashion, just like language, is a form of communication. Within that communication, just like any other, you are trying to convey a message. What's the first thing you think of when you see a white sheet? Is it a ghost? Now, when you fit that sheet to a person and cut the eyes out, do you still think of just a ghost? Or does something as simple as a person wearing a sheet speak hate to you? Fashion, just like language, holds weight within its message. Words can be spoken that are so powerful they can change the world. Fashion can be powerful in the same way, only because it can change how the world views you. What's the first thing you think of when you see a police uniform? What about a doctor's lab coat? Probably something along the lines of authority, maybe even respect. You might even go to extra lengths to listen more to what is being said by a person in a uniform. But if you put that same uniform on, would you feel different? Enclothed cognition, a term coined by a professor named Adam Galinsky at the University of Columbia, is the idea or theory that clothing changes how we feel and has a literal effect on the chemical composition of our brain. So much so that participants in a study did better on tests wearing a lab coat they thought belonged to a doctor versus those who did not. Fashion, just like language, invokes feelings within ourselves and others. What we say can be physically said, but what we want to say without having to actually speak, fashion is that medium. Fashion is language. Fashion is power through being in unspoken language. Fashion is social justice because of its power within being in unspoken language. Kaima McIntyre, a high school student who created her own prom dress to represent the beauty, creativity, and strength it means to be a Black woman, puts it best. You have to understand who you are, because if you leave that space open, you leave your identity in the hands of society.